Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope that you are well. Good to have you here on the Open Forum Q&A, and we get the show rolling. The Kings add a body, and that's about it, really. I mean, there's a reason why Nerlens Noel has played for, what, 7 teams? I mean, the guy's not very good. So I'm not getting excited about Nerlens Noel. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I'm not I'm not excited about Nerlens Noel. All right, how are you today? Everything good? You know, we've got a lot of things we're waiting to see happen, such as the Open Championship, which begins on Thursday. Okay, we have got nothing going on basketball wise, unless you're following Daryl Morey's comments from Philadelphia, hoping that James Harden changes his mind, that they're basically not going to just trade him, but stay tuned for that. But, pretty much things are going to simmer down in the NBA until we get rolling until September. August is coming up. August is a month that a lot of the NBA execs and front office people take their vacations. So, there you have it. All right. I did see Joel Embiid's comments, and I don't know what to read with Harden. I don't really take him that seriously in anything he says. So I don't know. I would agree with you. All right, I would agree with you. It is the worst stretch for a sports fan. Dog, it was horrible. And here's something else that's bad about what happened on the 18th tee box. People say, "Gee, why do golfers need it so quiet?" They don't. I talked about this. What they need is, I talked about this on Listen App. They need a constant, okay? Like if you go to the Phoenix Open on Super Bowl Sunday and go to that par 3 16th where everyone starts drinking at 5 in the morning, it's never quiet, okay? It's noisy all day long. So the golfer tees up and there's noise everywhere. That doesn't bother a golfer or anyone. I mean, if you're getting ready to serve and it's completely noisy everywhere, that's not going to bother you, if you're playing tennis. But if you're playing golf and playing tennis and it's completely quiet, and then in the middle of tossing and serving or on your backswing or you downswing, as I should say here, somebody screams, it's going to mess you up. It was awful. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Thank you. You need consistency one way or the other. All right. One way or the other. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. Glad that you are here. Love the questions. Keep them coming right here on If You Don't Like That. Boy, it's hot everywhere, isn't it? Man, brutal. It is the middle of July. All right. It is the middle of July or July. Yeah, it is. College football and the NFL. We can't wait until it gets here. Has anybody watched the quarterback series on Netflix? And if so, what do you think about it? Following around Marcus Mariota, Patrick Mahomes, and Kirk Cousins all of last year. And I guess Peyton Manning has already agreed with Netflix for year 2. So I got to believe that's going to be an annual affair, which is good. And then you see all of that. And then you see, Aaron Rodgers and Rob Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, complaining because, HBO Hard Knocks is on campus, so to speak. Deal with it, Aaron Rodgers making a comment a couple of days ago up at Lake Tahoe that, it was shoved down their throat. Yeah, I didn't like his rant either because it's wrong, okay? The people that are boycotting Bud Light, and again, I can't generalize because I haven't talked to every single million and millions of people that are boycotting, but the vast majority of them don't have any problem at all with transgender or the gay community. They don't have any problem, all right? I'm not drinking Bud Light. I won't drink Bud Light. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the way they approached their advertising, which, quite frankly, I didn't care for. That's what I'm boycotting. I'm not boycotting the transgender community or the gay community or anything like that. So Charles is way off base here. Charles has got it wrong. The folks that are boycotting Bud Light aren't boycotting transgender or the gay community. That's not what they're boycotting. Okay. Charles should know better than that, should know better than that. What were the comments? I didn't see them, so you'd have to elaborate there. I did not see them. All right. I read that JJ Redick is supposed to replace Jeff Van Gundy. Again, it makes zero sense to me. All right. It makes zero sense to me. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. It makes zero sense to me. You're going to take a guy that's never been a basketball analyst and you're going to have him replace arguably the best guy in the league on the number one platform, the number one team. Kind of. They signed Nerlens Noel, who can't play. So, yes, you could say they signed a center because that's the position that he's listed at. Does not make the Kings any better. All right. Let me explain something to you about Nerlens Noel. There's a reason why this is his 8th team. I believe it's his 8th team. There's a reason why he hasn't played the last couple of years. There's a reason why he's always available. Okay? It's a body. That's all it is. Okay? Just the way it was. Well, that's what my good buddy Christopher Mad Dog Russo of SiriusXM and, of course, joined Stephen A. Smith on Wednesdays on ESPN had to say. He agrees as well, Absolutely. It's pretty much very accurate. Very accurate. I mean, if you really want to get technical, we were hearing about Dwight Howard. I would take Dwight Howard over Nerlens Noel any day of the week. All right. I did arena football for the San Jose SaberCats for about 15 years or so. Yeah. When the SaberCats were winning the Arena Bowl and everything else. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I love doing the arena football. All right. I loved it. Okay. Loved it. All right. Good to have you here on If You Don't Like That. You having a good day and into evening right now. Again, we're 2 days away from the start of the Open Championship and training camps. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, it does not make sense to me at all. All right. No question. Again, I wouldn't want Dwight Howard. That's not the point I'm making. The point is that Noel can't play. That's the point I'm making. All right. That's just the way it is. Listen, I haven't seen Harry Giles play in a while, but if you told me I had to choose between one or the other, I wouldn't even think twice about it. But I don't know I know Harry Giles had a workout last week in Vegas. I understand that he's trying to get on with the team, but I haven't seen him play. To the best of my knowledge, and you would know this, Dog, he has not yet been signed. Doesn't mean he won't get invited to a camp, but as of right now, he's not on a roster. But I know what Noel can do, which is pretty much nothing. I really don't know what Giles can do right now at this stage in his career. No, he is not. All right. Come on. Again, I didn't see the workout. I can't really comment on Giles. Okay. I don't know what to say. Okay. So I'm hoping he gets a deal. I'm hoping he gets invited to camp. I love the guy. I love everything about him. He has an incredible heart. He's a great person. And I like him a lot. I really do. All right. Again, love the questions. Keep them rolling right here on If You Don't Like that. Tomorrow, we've got our open forum Wednesday over on Listen App. I'll probably do that at, not probably, I'll do that at 5 o'clock Pacific. That is coming up tomorrow. So keep the questions rolling and we'll do it. All right. And again, the Kings got a body today. That's what they did. Doesn't cost them a lot. They got a body. All right. Plain and simple. But don't get too excited. All right. Vladi is currently in Montenegro, and he spends part of the year in Los Angeles and part of the year in Montenegro. All right. There you go. David, you can respectfully disagree or not, but you're wrong. This is not an agree, disagree. All right. He's never been a great rebounder, ever. Okay. So I'm not really sure what you're referring to other than you're wrong. I'm sorry. This is not an agree or disagree. It's factual. All right. I mean, come on now. All right. So running backs in the National Football League. All right. It is what it is. Okay. The running back position, in terms of importance from NFL general managers, is not what it used to be. So because of that, the position has basically been devalued. The problem, and I did a rant on this, is that you cannot continue to pay one player on your team, the quarterback position, $40 and $45 million and not have money left over for the rest of your team. So if you really want to talk about a hard cap, okay, you really should have a cap on what you can pay one individual. Now, I understand that's not realistic and that the players would never vote for that. But if you really want to fix the problem, not only should you have a hard cap, you should have a hard cap on the amount you can pay any one individual on a team. So that's the problem I have. Okay. It just is, you know. I've never heard anyone using my catchphrases. I mean, if they did, they wouldn't be authentic. So I have not, you know, absolutely. I would have yelled at you. You're right. But I'm not going to yell at you here. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to yell at you here. Okay? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, he wasn't a good rebounder with the Knicks. Problem with being a shot blocker, if that's all you can do, you can't really help a team, because the game of basketball, which, by the way, is now a perimeter game, is now, you know, the need of a shot blocker has become, for all intents and purposes, not as important. I'm not saying it's not important, but if that's the only thing you can do, you're not going to really help out a team. Okay? So there you have it. All right? How much money does Barkley need? Well, he's going to get paid $10.9 million. From what I understand, the Giants offered him guaranteed money of over $22 million, with an average salary, from what I understand, of around 13 or 14 million. And he turned it down several times. Now, I'm only telling you that's what's been reported. So he'll play, assuming that he does play this year, he'll play for the tag at 10.9. I thought the contract was fair too, to be honest with you. I think that running backs have a false sense of their worth now. I mean, you're seeing all these running backs that are under contract, like Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, you know, ripping the system. Well, you voted for the system. All right. And we're not saying that Christian McCaffrey's not important. We know Derrick Henry's important. Saquon Barkley was important. We get that. Okay. Josh Jacobs, for crying out loud. Tony Pollard. These guys are very important to their teams. But there's a hard cap. And if you're going to pay Dak Prescott all that money, and you're going to pay Jones all that money, and you get the point I'm trying to make here, you don't have a lot of money left over for the running back. It's just the way it is, you know? That's just the way it is. All right, again, hit me up, roll your questions, and well, look, their depth on their running back, it's not, they don't have anyone listed named Saquon Barkley. All right. Just the way it is. All right. Sea Dog says that it's crazy to me that players do this. Isn't the goal to win a championship over getting a few extra dollars? I understand. You know, if I'm Daniel Jones, you know, or Dak Prescott, and I'm just using him as an example, you know, do you really need an average of 40 million a year? How about taking an average of 35 million a year so that the team has money to make sure that the other good players around you can stay with the franchise and are happy? Like, what can you really do with, I mean, 40 million that you can't do with 35 million? Now, I understand there's taxes and all that, but you understand, and it doesn't make sense to me, you know? Doesn't, you know. So what? So what? So he blocks shots more than those three combined. Big deal. He can't play. Okay? There's a reason why nobody wanted him. There's a reason why he's been available every year of his career. Okay? So what? He blocks shots. Big deal. He can't do anything else. Why would you want to? I mean, he's not going to help the Kings that much, all right? If at all. All right? I mean, come on now. Well, you know, I'm looking at some of these responses that I'm getting. All right. If the Giants offer me a job, well, 15 minutes to the airport, got to get there 45 minutes ahead of time. That's 1 hour. 2 hour, 45-minute flight into Newark. That's 3:45. 15 minutes from Newark to the stadium. So I could do it in 4 hours. I could be there in 4 hours. All right. 4 hours, you know? 4 hours. That's not bad, is it? You know? No. They'll never get an NFL or an NHL team. Not happening. They're not getting a baseball team either. They have the NBA. They may get an MLS team, but that's it. All right? That's it. That's just the way it is. All right. Well, the kicker is as important. The kickers, if you have a bad kicker, you're not winning. You got to have a good kicker, you know? The best plane that I've ever been on is the Airbus A380, the double-decker, especially if you're on Emirates. And if you're fortunate enough to be in business class, I've never gone first class. It's the best. They got a big lounge in the back with couches, and it's great. You know, it's great. I've been on Korean Air's A380, but in economy. I've been on Singapore's A380, but they don't have a lounge on board. And I think that's it. Those are the three that I've been on. But Emirates, their A380s are awesome. All right. They're awesome. All right. I've never been to Russia, period. I haven't flown there, nor have I ever been there. So can't really comment on Russia. All right. Well, I have a feeling that it won't be too much longer. I won't see it in my lifetime where instead of sitting on a plane and going from, let's say, Los Angeles to Hong Kong in 15 hours, I think you're probably going to be able to do it in an hour. That's what I think. That's a few generations ahead. I won't see it. That's for sure. I don't see it. I don't see any way in the world that the A's can stay in Northern California short of the owner Fisher selling it to a local owner, and the local owner wants to build a stadium. That's the only way I can see it. And I think that horse has already left the barn. All right. I just don't see it. All right. I don't see it. I haven't been following that game. 16 The 13. Wow. It's a hell of a game, you know? Um, the only story that I remember about doing the LeBron James pressure commercial, his first commercial as as an NBA player, was being there all day. You know, LeBron wasn't there. Nobody was really there. We spent all day, and from the all day that Jerry and I spent there, they used 5 seconds of what we shot. And then I actually went to a studio in downtown Sacramento a few weeks after that, and they had me voice over the rest of the commercial in the studio. But it was an interesting experience, you know? Never did go on the Concorde. Never did get to the Concorde, you know? Yeah, that's not actually not true. There are a lot of things to beat this Centurion Lounge, but it's nice. All right. Trust me, there are many lounges nicer than the Centurion Lounge, but it is nice. All right. Um, did I ever see any fights or arguments? No, honestly, I never did on the plane. I don't ever recall that. No, never did. I wouldn't have told you anyway, but no, did not. All right. Did not. Let's see. What team has the best deal? You know, the Dodgers, excuse me, the Angels have said they're not trading him to the Dodgers, but if you're going to trade him, you get the best package available, right? I mean, aren't you in the business to win? It's the same thing with Portland right now. You're not trading Damian Lillard just to Miami. You don't care about, I mean, you really don't. You're trying to fix your team and make it as good as it can. You're not going to just trade a player to where he wants to go. So we'll see. All right. We'll see. You know, the one thing is when you come on the stream and you act like an idiot, you get removed from the stream. Just know that, okay? Won't mention names, but just understand if you come on the stream and you act like a moron with your chats, you get removed from the stream. All right? No, that is the only commercial I've ever done nationally. That is the only one. All right? 7 ribbies in a game. That's amazing. The farthest I've ever traveled to on one flight was Singapore to JFK. It's the longest flight in the world. Depending on the jet stream and the winds, it's roughly 18 hours, give or take 30 minutes. So I went on that about 2 years ago, longest flight in the world from Singapore to JFK. So that would be it. You can't go farther than that. That's the longest flight in the world. I believe it's going to be surpassed soon by a few minutes on the Australia to New York route. So, and I can't remember which city in Australia. I can't remember if it was Sydney or Melbourne. I can't remember, but yeah. I have been to Greece. I've been to Athens, but was only there for 2 days. Beautiful, beautiful city. Loved Athens. Absolutely loved Athens. All right. Hit your questions. All right. Hit me up with your questions. I just said Singapore to JFK. You go actually over, you fly to the west of Taiwan, just off the coast of Japan to the east, straight over the pole, down over the top of Alaska, down over the top of Canada, and straight down to New York. When you fly from New York to Singapore, you go over the northern Atlantic, over the top of Europe, down through the Middle East, and into Singapore that way. There you have it. All right. There you have it. Hey, Rich, how are you today, buddy? How are you? I'm not impressed with anything that the Padres do, Rich. I'm sorry. Any tips for a new golfer? Yes, take lessons for sure, 100%. And then after you take lessons and find out whether you enjoy the game or not, buy some golf equipment and get it fitted properly to your swing. You don't need to do that, at the beginning because you don't have a swing. But I think it's very important to get a series of lessons. As a matter of fact, I think it's crucial. I really do. I think it is absolutely crucial. All right. My take on that is go buy your own airplane and fix it however you want. All right. The aisles are narrow for a reason. Okay. If you make the aisles wider, that means the seats are narrower. Okay. Do you want your aisles narrow or do you want your seats narrow? You can't have it both ways. Okay. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. So you decide. What are you going to do? You want the aisles wider or your seats a little wider? You choose. Your choice. Your choice. Nobody else's. You're deciding right now. So again, you could buy your own airplane. All right? Buy your own plane. What do you think? Buy your own plane? Are you going to buy your own plane? You can fix it however you want. Then you don't have to worry about it. The biggest issue I have when I'm flying about people with the aisles that have things on their back, such as backpacks or carry-on, what they don't realize is that when they turn to either look at their seat or attempt to open the overhead compartment, when they turn, their body becomes wider. And if you're in the aisle seat, it's like you're a punching bag unless you go like this as people are walking down the aisle. Or if the aisle's here, you have to go like that. Because if not, you get clobbered from the people who are absolutely clueless that they have on their back a wide piece of luggage. And if they even turn a little bit or it's on their shoulder, it's hitting the person in the aisle. That's the issue I have. All right. That's the issue I have. There you have it. All right. Well, you're not going to have fewer seats. All right. No, I love turbulence. Turbulence to me is enjoyable. I actually enjoy it. All right. The Giants without Saquon Barkley will not make the playoffs. Okay. But, the Giants did what they should have done. They offered him a tag. They give him good money, and it's up to him to take it or not take it. He is a player that voted for this system, and the Giants are only exercising the clause in their system that was collectively bargained. So there you have it. There you have it. I like turbulence. Planes don't fall apart in the sky. Turbulence does never bother me. Planes are built to fly through heavy turbulence. All right. It really does not bother me at all. All right. Hit me up. All right. Yeah, we got to that one already. My bad. Well, I think Saquon has to be in camp a minimum of a week ahead of time, a minimum. And then he's only going to play sparingly in the first game. All right. So there you have it. Appreciate it. Yeah, you'll have to adjust, Absolutely. Everything changes. So yeah, you adjust. It's a very good question, by the way, I've been to China twice with the Kings, 2004 and 2014. And 2004 was amazing because the Kings were playing the Rockets, and Yao was on the Rockets, who was from Shanghai, and that was the first game. And I'm not exaggerating. You would have thought that we were the Rolling Stones going to and from events. I mean, I've never quite seen anything like it. I've never seen anything quite like it. They try to pay him. Cody, what are you supposed to do? There's a hard cap. They try to pay him. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. Well, thank you for joining. I'm doing these because of people like yourself. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I'm not really sure where Sasha's going to play for the Kings, or what he's going to be on the rotation, or, how many minutes he's going to play. That's going to be very interesting. All right. There you have it. This is not my crib. So thank you, though. It's not mine. Ed, hola. How are you, buddy, in Chile? What's up, Ed? Good to have you here. All right. Yeah. When you stand next to Yao, it's like, wow, no question, man. Well, I don't know. You need to do what you need to do. I can't tell you who you should be more excited for, whatever floats your boat, so to speak. There you have it. Um, I think all sports would be better if they had a hard cap, but it's not going that way, is it? Absolutely. That's a great question. DeAndre Hopkins, why did he choose the Titans if he really wants to win? Does anyone out there really put the Titans in the same breath as the other contenders? Now, I understand that the season before last, they were the number one seed. I get that. All right. I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying when you look at their team, do you feel that they're as good as 3 or 4 of the top teams in the AFC? Do you think they're even the best team in their division? Do you think they're better than Jacksonville? See, to me, that's where you start the conversation. So I don't, it hasn't changed my opinion of them. All right. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. Well, this is a very good point. All right. The Giants actually loaded up on wide receivers this year, and they started with Darren Waller, which I think is a tremendous signing. Now, I know he's not technically a wide receiver, but he's a tight end that plays like a wide receiver. So, there you have it. Are there any athletes that I would refuse to have on? Yeah, there are some. I would never have Conor McGregor on. I think the guy is a buffoon, a dangerous, bad representation for sport. I would never have him on. I would never have OJ on. There are some. You're catching me off the top of my head. I'd have to really think about that. But yes, you don't have to think much if you're looking for great food. You go to Bennett's, Roseville, Sacramento, and very, very soon, the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Prime Seafood and Steak. Just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Check out their menu and everything else. That's Bennett's Restaurants. All right, they're awesome. Prime Seafood and Steak. Good to have you with us here on this Tuesday evening. Would I have DeMarcus on? Yeah, I would have him on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Would I have John Morant on? I would, yes. I would have him on. Paul, it was a huge loss for the Raiders to lose Waller. No question about that. All right? No question. I am not going to be there. First of all, the week 1 Monday night is not the Giants and the Cowboys. It is the Bills and the Jets. That's your week 1 Monday night game. I am not ready for Christmas yet. Are you ready for Christmas yet? I am not. All right. All right. Well, first of all, how do you know that? What makes you think that Adam Silver got Jeff Van Gundy fired? The only one that's said that publicly is Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He doesn't know. He just said he thinks that's the most plausible explanation. All right. There you have. There you have. Well, I won't be ready on the 25th. I'll be ready on the 24th. 25th might be a little too late. All right. I'll get Mike on. Mike's been on my podcast, I think, 3 different times. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. Well, that's good because I can tell you Bennett's is a hell of a lot better. So I'm very happy that you found Bennett's, and thank you very much. I don't know what's going on with Jordan Ford. I guess time will tell. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, this is based on my rant from years ago, and that's just kind of tongue in cheek. So you have to understand the history with that. All right. Well, you can't you can't help a team when you're injured. That is very true. All right. Well, you'd have to ask Brian Bennett, the owner, whether you can get a Bennett's in Elk Grove. With Brian, who is an incredible entrepreneur and has tremendous vision, uh, never say never. Okay. If Brian thinks that it would be successful and can find the right area and has the right capital, yes, I could see him doing it. But right now, one step at a time. The Blue Oaks Town Center. All right. I would have Skip on my show. Yes, I would. Absolutely. All right. I mean, I don't think he's going to have any role. I don't think he's going to play it a lick. So, again, you can only have 5 guys on the floor at once. All right. Just there you have it. I just, you know, do I think Dexter Lawrence is a top 3 interior lineman in the league right now? I do. So does Brian Baldinger, who breaks down all of this stuff from the NFL Network. And I think he is one of the top 3. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. He's a difference maker. All right. A difference maker. Yeah, I was a big St. John's fan growing up as a kid with Louis Carnesecca. Used to go to games at Madison Square Garden quite often to watch the Redmen play. Stay hydrated, my friend. Yes. Especially with the weather the way it is everywhere. All right? Everywhere. Yes. Stay hydrated. Absolutely. Yeah, that is in the middle of July. You better stay hydrated. Very few areas. I was looking at the reports from the globe, so to speak, about the temperatures and the weather. Again, if you're in Australia, it's not an issue. I just the other evening ran into a gentleman from Melbourne. He says it's cold there right now. Cold sounds good to me right about now. There you have. All right. There you have it. Well, I don't know about Harry Giles on the court, and I have never met Nerlens Noel, so I can't really comment on that. But Harry Giles' personality is great. That is for sure. All right. That is for sure. That's you are absolutely correct. It is the old Chevys in Rockland, but it's not going to look anything like the Chevys. I did a tour. Brian took me there about 4 weeks ago, and it's going to be fascinating. All right. Yes, Rich, I got a tour. Brian took me to the restaurant about 4 weeks ago, and obviously there's nothing in it. It's still being finished, and it's very close to being finished, but it was neat to see. All right. Neat to see. All right. My thoughts on Nerlens Noel is he can't play, and that's why this will be his 8th team and why he's available for NBA pocket change. That's my thoughts. He's just a body. All right. There's a reason why he's available, and there's a reason why every year he's on a different team. That's my take on Nerlens Noel. Just there you have it. All right. Okay. You would definitely buy that. Okay. You want the over-under is 50? Take the over by a wide margin. Okay. We're going to be doing all kinds of Kings content starting in October. So we'll go wall to wall. We'll be having all kinds of Kings programming. All right. Thank you for that. And by the way, and as I say this, and I mean it, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be aware of everything that we are doing. The Yankees to me are a lost franchise right now. They're not going to the playoffs, whether they have Aaron Judge coming back or not. That's how I look at it. I don't know. Depth, another big body. That's it. That's it. I don't. No, what else? All right. You know, let's say you're right. Okay. Alex Len is much better than Nerlens Noel in every facet of the game other than shot blocking. The game is a 3-point shooting game. Okay. It's not a drive and dunk the ball over the center game anymore. It's a 3-point shooting game. The game is a perimeter game now. That diminishes a shot blocker, number one. Number two, if that's all you can do, you can't help a team. Why do you think Nerlens Noel was available for NBA pocket change? Why do you think nobody else wanted him? Why do you think every year he's available? Do you ever think of these things when you make a comment like that? I mean, come on. All right? Come on. Think a little bit. Think a little bit. Please. Think a little bit. No, I don't think the Kings are going to run an 8-man lineup. They didn't run an 8-man lineup last year, and they have the same coach. Mike Brown is not afraid to use 10 and 11 guys. But the vast majority of minutes during the regular season come from 9 minutes. And you already know who the 9 guys are. So we keep on talking about, is this guy going to play? Is that guy going to play? Might play a few minutes a game, but not much. Again, Mike Brown does play a lot of guys, but doesn't play a lot of guys a lot of minutes. You know, your 8 to 9 are going to play the bulk of your minutes. That's the way you have. You know, that's what you have. All right. Which team do I dislike the most? The Cowboys, because their fans are the most unrealistic and delusional. So that's the team. Their fans just, they never deal with reality. And I have a lot of fans, or a lot of fans. I have a lot of friends that are Dallas fans, and I would tell them right to their face. I actually have told them that to their face. Every time I see them, I tell them that. Every time I go to Dallas and I'm around them, I tell them that. So they know how I feel. They know how I feel. Absolutely. Yes, Patrick, you missed everything. So you better go back and you better rewatch the show when you're done on your YouTube channel. All right? You missed everything. Yes. Yes. You missed a lot. Time flies on this thing, man. I can't even believe that. All right? Yeah, Alex Len is 5 times better, 10 times better than Nerlens Noel. It's not even close. You know? I don't even think it's close. Amazing. You know what, Cody? I did know that, which is pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. I actually did know that. Pretty freaking remarkable. Least favorite NBA fan base. That is a fabulous question, and I would have to think about it for a few minutes. I would say Atlanta, because they never support their team even when they're good. And so I don't respect the fans that don't support that team. Now, I get it. A lot of the people that live in Atlanta aren't from there. That's part of it, just like Miami. There's a lot more wealth in Miami based on the figures that I've seen and read about Miami-Dade County and Broward County. But in terms of cities that really support their team that I don't care for, there really aren't. Probably the Lakers, because they're a lot like the Cowboys fans. They're obnoxious, and many of them are bandwagon fans. So now that I think about it, I'd probably say the Lakers. You know, there you have it. Yeah, I'm going to change it from the Hawks to the Lakers. There you have it. All right. There you have it. I agree. It was puzzling. I still am puzzled by Davion Mitchell playing only 8 minutes in Game 7. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, absolutely. Yeah, it is difficult. All right, it is. Yes. There you go. Kent nailed it. Cody said you nailed it, Kent. Good job, buddy. All right. Good job. Hey, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing of Sacramento. And if you have any plumbing needs or repairs, just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing they've got a fix for you. And remember, they're available 24/7. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. Again, we got the Open Championship beginning Thursday. Might have some James Harden news popping up every now and then, but not a lot going on right now. NFL training camps, thank goodness. NFL training camps are kind of boring. I mean, we over-evaluate everything at NFL training camps based on the quarterback position. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on in San Francisco. It's going to be interesting to follow Garoppolo with the Raiders and see where he's at health-wise. But these are the real tough. These next 5 to 6 weeks are awful. All right? Awful. It just is, you know? It just is. So we'll see. Again, as far as Mike Brown, he did address it on the exit interview. What's done is done. All right. What's done as done. Yeah, I've had Ross Tucker was on my show in Sacramento a few times. Not a lot, but a few times. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. There's a hard cap. I would have paid him too, but there is a hard cap, and you only have X number of dollars to go around. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, I do think Josh Jacobs is a very important part of their team, but look at what he did last year. Did the Raiders win because of him? No. Is it his fault? No. But I mean, the point is, he had the best year of any running back in the NFL, and the Raiders still stunk. So you have to look at it that way as well. You have to look at it that way as well. Yeah, I did a whole podcast on this, Sea-Dog, on last week. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but I did my podcast on that. It was embarrassing. What's more embarrassing, Sea-Dog, is that Outkick are pretty much, and Fox News, because that's where Will Cain works, they're the only ones that were outraged by it. Nobody seemed to have a problem with it. Why didn't the mainstream media attack ESPN for making a individual, a former employee now at another network, look so bad? But to me, what they did is they plagiarized him, and then they defamed him. All right? They took part of what he said, and then they re-edited it, and they defamed him. That's what they did. It's awful, Awful. I do agree with you about Al Michaels. He's one of the best. No question. I do think he is, yes. But what ESPN did was awful. It was embarrassing, And you're right. Megan Rapinoe is an American disgrace. The fact that she's at the White House getting, the Medal of Honor or whatever that is embarrassing. Megan Rapinoe is a representative of anything in the United States. She's a disgrace. She's the reason why I won't watch women's soccer. She's the reason. No one else. She is. She's an embarrassment. Did make him look bad. They basically defamed the guy. ESPN is fake news. What about Paul George? Do I think he's going to be traded? Could be. I think the Clippers I don't think they're going to be very good at all. All right. I don't know. I don't see how they're going to be good. I really don't. Is there anybody on this stream that supports Megan Rapinoe? What a disgrace she is. What a disgrace. Seriously. What a disgrace. Just awful. That's the representation of America at sports? Are you kidding me? Gosh. Man. I don't go to Olive Garden, so I don't order anything. Sorry. Google her. There you have it. I don't know Rob Parker. I've never met him. All right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, thank you very much. Again, getting a lot of questions on Nerlens Noel. There's a reason why he's available. He's not going to help the team. I don't even see how he's going to get on the court. I mean, there's a reason why he's available every year. I really don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Absolutely. Oh man. You folks out there that, think that you sign someone and all of a sudden he's great when no one else wants him and hasn't done anything in the last couple of years. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Yeah, all the time. Often. All right. I want to say tomorrow at, let's say, we'll do 5 o'clock Pacific. I'll have my open forum on Listen App. That will be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then I'll probably be back here Thursday at 7 o'clock Pacific right here on this format. I like this. This is a lot of fun, Come on. Are we really having this conversation with a man who's 78 or 79 years old and you think he's going to beat me in a game of one-on-one? Huh? Look at me. You think I'm going to lose one-on-one to Jerry Reynolds? Really? Come on now. Give me a little more credit than that, would you please? Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Man. Wow. The PA announcer before Scott Moak, Fred Anderson, and again, he may have been 2 behind before Scott. He died of cancer. He was great. And then I can't remember, was it Steve Buzzer that did it for a while? I can't even remember, I can't even remember. I can't, How much money would you pay? That's the question. How much? How much money would you pay? See, that's the key. See, dog, Absolutely. He can dunk, but he needs a ladder. And then he needs help getting down the ladder so he doesn't fall. But yes, he can dunk. Absolutely. Man. All right. So again, tomorrow, join me right here on If You Don't Like That. Really appreciate all the questions today. This is a lot of fun. And I'll do it again on Thursday. I've got to get ready. I'm doing an interview here at the top of the hour. So I got to wrap this up and I got to get ready for my interview. And I hope that you all have a fabulous Tuesday evening. And thank you very much for joining me right here on If You Don't Like That. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific, Listen App, back here at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So long, everybody.